So happy July, everyone, 2026. Hope everyone is staying cool and dry. It's been quite a humid and hot summer down in Texas, but don't expect anything less, right? So we are Tamales, and we are part of TTAP, which is the Texas Technology Access Program. Um, Next slide. All right, so this is the Viva La Vida with AT conference that we host every year. This time it's going to be in October, late October, the 29th, 28th and 29th to be specific. It's going to be at the JJ Pickle Research Campus here in Austin, Texas. So that's at the corner of Breaker and Burnett, kind of like central North Austin, near the Domain. We're going to be talking about some spot presenters today in our agenda. But then we also have an exhibit hall that will showcase all the latest and greatest in assistive technology. And then we also have a makerspace activity that we did last year that we're going to be doing again this year. So if you haven't registered, please register. If you are looking to kind of help with financing, we can maybe work something out as well. So just always let us know. Next slide. Yes, Will, we do have hotel recommendations. I believe the information for that is posted on the website. But I know Shannon can get back to you with more information as well. So I will let her know. Also, double check your calendars. This is a regular meeting time. It's the third Tuesday of every month from 11:30 to 12:30. But as every year the calendar passes and turns to the next year, we will revisit that and just make sure this is a mutually agreeable meeting time for everyone. So yeah, tamales, what do we do? Why do we do it? So really, we're a network of makers across Texas, but we've had folks from South Carolina. We've gone international with some international visitors. We welcome anyone and everyone that's interested in fabrication and making, uh, especially when it comes to assistive technology and for technology for folks with disabilities. So we're here to collaborate, learn from each other, and ultimately serve the folks that we love. So yeah, just a reminder to everyone, assistive technology is everywhere, even if we don't think about it initially as assistive technology. Just to remind folks where it is and how we use it and how we integrate it in our daily lives. Access needs, sensory needs, vision, hearing, communication. Right now, I'm actually doing a Lego social with a group of young adults. And they're learning how to communicate, take on different roles so far as being the engineer, being the builder, being the communicator, the supporter. So really, it's everywhere. And what it does is help us live more independently and kind of live collaboratively and coexist as communities. So, all right. And then, yeah, long-winded, but here we are. Today's agenda. We're going to talk about new connections. We're going to talk about this Tamales Makers Map that we're kind of in development. And like I was mentioning with the conference, there's going to be a Viva La Vida sneak peeks that we'll do. We're going to be showcasing a little bit of what Leander ISD's got going on. We'll talk about TXRX's robotic arm, Nagadoch's committee on persons with disabilities, and then finally we turn the mic over to y'all to kind of just talk about what you got going on in your life. All right, cool. So new members, folks, feel free to put it in the chat, come off mic. But it seems like we might have a few new members today. But yeah, whatever part of Texas you're from or outside of Texas, how did you hear about us? What kind of favorite maker tool do you have? If not now, what general interests you have? And then do you have a maker goal for this year? I'll give folks some time to respond.
I can go. My name is Suzanne Martin, and I am one of the assistive tech people at Region 5 ESC in Beaumont, Texas. We run the TTAP Demo Center over this way. How'd I hear about you guys? Ben Davison, of course. Hi, Ben. And Shannon Page were really instrumental in sort of dragging me along in this and supporting me as I like explore new things. And Anna came out and helped with a session out here. Right now, my favorite maker tool is probably my 3D printer. I have a Bamboo P2S and really love it. It's running right now. If it finishes, I'll show you what I made. My maker goal for this year. Um, so sort of like, in the service center, we have to set professional goals for ourselves over the year. And so my goal for this year is to come up with a list of tactile, um, I guess, just like 3D printed or other ways that I can help kiddos with visual impairments sort of integrate into lessons in our Texas curriculum, our TEKS. I'm primarily going to look at middle school because that's where a lot of my blind students are and students with low vision right now. And so looking at the STEM classes and aligning what I can do to support them with things that I can make by 3D or share files or whatever, create like a file library for some of our CTE programs on campuses to create things for their blind and low vision kiddos. So that's sort of like my goal for this year.
Thanks, Suzanne. Yeah, and if you might know about the bliss symbols already, but definitely talk to
Yep.
Shannon. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. I've got a set that she made me, and I've already downloaded the file to make some more.
Wonderful. Cool. Well, welcome. Anyone else? I know someone in the chat, Nadia, from Austin, um, learned about us through Google, which is great. Good to do just get the name out there. Bamboo printer and just wants to learn more. Perfect. Well, welcome, welcome. Anyone else?
I can go, Nicholas. So I've recently made the connect with Dr. Solzer on the Mako mechanism for the TMT and hoping that I can get a little bit more involved with that. He sent me over the files so I can look at other ways to improving and adapting it as part of this project and see if I can get it delivered to a couple children that I've already served TMTs to.
Yeah, good to see Open Path here. Thank you so much. Y'all, if you haven't heard of Open Path Mobility, please check them out. They're doing great stuff. Um, who else?
I can go next.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Alex. I was introduced to this organization by Anna. I'm based in Canada, so a little further than Texas. And a little bit about myself. I'm not an engineer, not a medical professional, not in any organization. I have a Prusa Core 1, and I taught myself CAD because I wanted to make a board game. And with the 3D printer, I said to myself, well, this is amazing technology. Why don't I try to figure out something that can help people? So over the last 2 years, I've created 8 different devices to help people. One of my most recent one was a TPU door handle that can go over multiple circular doorknobs for people who have disabilities or trouble with opening those doorknobs. It can even do the unlock feature, lock feature. I put everything online for free and even the step file so people can edit it. My main goal is to make accessibility accessible in the sense so when I design my things, because once again, I'm not an engineer, so I have no idea what I'm doing. So if I can make it stupid enough for myself, I want to make it easy enough for everybody else. So I put all the instructions online with visuals and stuff like that. So I want people to take it. And for people who have engineering degrees or medical degrees, can do better than me. I want people to do better than me. So yeah, I go by Tryspire. It goes by try and get inspired. So that's how I operate. And all my files are there. I released one for Walker, a little clip where you can put on a grabber. I put on a TPU, little adaptive writing device where you can just write with any position, and even with your toes. And I do videos on Instagram, TikTok, and even on LinkedIn to show how they work. So thank you for inviting me, Anna, and I'd love to learn more about what everybody else is doing.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, no, I think we have a lot of folks from all walks of life that vary in experience. So everyone is welcome, like I was mentioning, but good to know that no matter what, folks just have a general interest just to do good by people. Anyone else?
Well, since Alex went, the other Alex left. My name's Alex Gray. Um, excuse me. Put a post in the chat. I work for a company called Neuromaker, which should read as an educational technology company. Um, However, our sister company is a prosthetics company. Um, so we take subsystems and make STEM curriculum for grades 6 through 16. I found out about this organization through Brian Hireman. I met him last week at a joint volunteer event that we were at, and he invited me to this along with Anna. So I'm joining for the first time. Background about me. Uh, Former engineer, senior principal engineer for a Fortune 5 company, 21 years. Currently in educational technology through no want or I shouldn't say no, not any want, but it wasn't a career goal. Let's just put it that way. It was something that brought me joy that I decided to go ahead and keep doing with some people that I know. Other than that, we have 100 hours of free curriculum at neuromakerstem.com. Alex, you might want to check that out if you want to look into different things for engineering design, just to advance the skill. It's all free. You don't even have to create a login. Covers introduction to neuroscience, engineering design, um, programming, coding, applied artificial intelligence. So give it a look through. It's written for teachers and students 6 through 16. Uh, pardon me. We've got middle schoolers through seniors doing NASA projects right now using our technology and curriculum. So just put that out there. Brian, anything you wanted to add? No? Okay.
No, that was great. Glad to have you, and look forward to working together in the future. So,
Yeah, that's great. I mean, this is all what it's about. I mean, Brian and T-Tap and Shannon and Angela have been working together for many years now already, and we just kind of create the space and keep the lights on, and y'all kind of like make what Tamales is. Kind of sharing ideas, sharing spaces, sharing what you know, what you've created, and how we can build with each other. So, I got someone in the chat. Hi, my name is Michelle in Cedar Park, a mother with a child that is deafblind. Met Anna several times. And again, too, like even people that are users are welcome. Folks that are looking for answers. We have a setup form on our website for folks that want to put in requests. And that's kind of our net to catch folks. And so far as if we can't solve it, then we bring it to y'all to like kind of help troubleshoot and see where we can go with this with our communities. So anyone else? It's been quite a new crowd today, which is great. More the merrier.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I'm Luz Espinal. I'm the student hire billing navigator for Workforce North Texas or Solutions. I got in contact with Miss Ana Canavero. I went to a conference down in Austin, and she introduced me to this program, the Texas Technology Access Program. And she just told me that there had been a demo place here with vocational rehabilitation, but apparently there hasn't been too much contact. So now I want to start it up again since I just started back in December, and I just want to get, bring in any tools or anything that is needed to accommodate for disabilities here at North Texas.
Thank you, Luce. Yeah, I mean, it's again, if we don't know it, we don't know it. So this is why we come here. We come here to talk about what we've been doing. So
yes, thanks.
Yeah. I think that might be, is that everyone? Am I forgetting someone? It looks like we got everyone. Okay.
If anyone wants to add anything too in the chat, feel free whenever. So
yes, please. All right, next slide. All right, so a new and exciting development. It's nothing huge, but it's honest work. So while we create these meetings monthly, we also want to get the word out as much as possible. And that can involve doing work outside of this meeting. And this is one of those ways. So we have a making map that we're developing. So think of it like the Padlet, but just kind of mapped out geographically where you're at, what you're doing, who you can serve in the local area potentially, and just kind of get the word out for you and your organization, what you're doing. And this is just that small effort on our end. So really, if you would like to be on the map so far as your organization goes, or just you as a maker, just submit your information to us. I think Anna has set up a system so you can set up and submit your information, and we'll get it posted on there. And then make it publicly available for folks to see and view and interact, and hopefully get some more clicks towards your organization. So,
Yeah,
anything to add, Anna?
I want to make a note of that so all who are aware of like Make Good website, they have like a toddler mobility trainer tracker. And so we kind of got that inspiration from that. But the idea, like Nico mentioned, is to start showcasing makers and organizations and groups doing this type of work across Texas and even beyond Texas, because I know we have like visitors from out of this. So as our network grows, we want our community to be aware of that as well. So our goal is to eventually feature this on our TTAP website, so that people can more easily find others doing this sort of work, make connections, and hopefully create new opportunities for collaboration. So we are obviously in the very beginning phase, but if you are interested and you're on this call right now, feel free to put your information in the chat. I can give you the view. Give me one second.
And I just want to add, this is kind of modeled after another map that we made. This is the Autism Developmental Disabilities Monitoring Network. And this is another program that we have at our center that looks at surveillance of diagnoses of autism within mostly Bear County, but we also have another sister project near Laredo. So it's looking at kind of autism surveillance and kind of diagnosis rates. So this is just what we're trying to like emulate.
Yes, so like Nico mentioned, just getting the inspiration from others, and the whole point is just making community aware that we're here. So yeah, if you're interested, please, like I mentioned earlier, put that in the chat.
All right. And then like I was mentioning about our conference, this is just a sneak peek at what to expect. So one of our presentations, 3D printing innovation in a durable medical equipment reuse program. So our wonderful partners, Project Men down in San Antonio, they are an absolutely stunning resource for not just the state. Well, it's only for the state, but it's something that should be emulated across the country. So that will be Dexter Moon presenting. Love Dexter. He's been at our conference many times every year. So thank you for being there for us again. And Dexter's going to be talking about how to explore 3D printing supports within DME programs specifically. And it's going to be a full 60-minute session during Viva La Vida. It's one of those things that if you don't know about Project Mend, it is quite, I don't want to use the term opening. It is very, yeah, you just got to see it to believe it, kind of. So anything to add there, Dexter, Anna?
No, thank you. That was extremely kind, Nico. We really appreciate the relationship that we have with TTAP, and just honored to be a partner and participate any way we can. For those that know us or do not know us, we're, as Nico said, we're a nonprofit organization located in San Antonio, Texas. We have a really simple mission. It's just to remove barriers to access to durable medical equipment. If you need a piece of equipment, we have eliminated all of the barriers that normally get in the way, and so we're excited to be at Vida La Vida this year. I am going to throw an audible because I have our program operational manager, Michael Darlick, on the phone. On this Zoom today, and he's actually going to be the one that's going to be presenting today. Michael has done a lot of great research and really helped us here at Project Men get this idea that we had of really leveraging 3D printing in the durable medical reuse program. And it has definitely helped us out. It has helped our clients. all across San Antonio and the 61 counties that we served last year. And so I don't want to steal any of his thunder, but I'm going to pitch it over to Michael. Michael, are you there?
You gotta unmute, Mike.
Oh my gosh, you'd think I would know how to run a Zoom meeting after COVID and all this kind of stuff, but here I am struggling still to get my screen to be shared the way that it needs to be shared. And what this is ridiculous. Okay. What all can y'all see right now? What do you see my screen?
Yeah, we
Or
can. You can go back one slide though, Michael. We can see the missing part, working equipment. There you go.
Gotcha. Okay. I think you all are seeing exactly what I want you all to see. Thank you for hanging with me while I navigated that. Okay. Hey, so my name is Mike. I'm the program operations manager here at Project Mid. I'm going to keep this really, really kind of brief and simple. But, we are a donation based nonprofit. So we take in donations of used equipment that we refurbish, sanitize, and redistribute out into the community. We are licensed by the state of Texas as well as a medical salvage organization. And part of that has places some requirements on us. So for example, we get a piece of equipment in and it's missing a certain plastic this or a little clip or something like that. And if it's not complete, we can't refurbish it and we can't reissue it out into the community. And so, as you can imagine, also it being donated, the things that are donated to us, some of them are really old, some of them are really new, some of them are somewhere in between, some are just no name brands that we don't even know the history of, have never heard of them before. And so we purchased two, we have two P1Ss right now that we are using to manufacture these parts that are no longer available for these pieces of equipment so we can maintain them in the community, right? So instead of going into a scrap bin and instead of just, getting thrown away and going to a landfill, we're able to continue to get these pieces of equipment out into the community. So it's wonderful creating custom parts for specific repair needs, replace components that are hard to find or may not even be available anymore, and otherwise keeps usable equipment out of a landfill and in the hands of people who need it. So real easy peasy. One of our really common wheelchairs is called a Drive Medical Blue Streak wheelchair. It's a blue wheelchair, and we get them in all the time, but they're always missing some common parts. And so one of those is this seat end cap that you see right here on the where it says number 3. That end cap is flared out. It's kind of sharp. So if you don't have that on there, you have the risk of cutting the back of your knees, the undersides of your legs. It's not a safe piece of equipment then. And so what we did is I'm left-handed. And so I was fortunate enough to get a left-handed caliper so I can measure parts out. And I'm modeling these parts out, and then we're printing them. It usually takes 1 or 2 iterations before it fits perfectly, right? But we're able to keep that piece of equipment going out into the community and helping other people, whereas due to our licensure, it may not have been used in the past. So the example I gave here was that seat end cap. I designed it, we printed it, we tested it, and we install it. We've using a variety of materials. This one we are using TPU just so it's a little flexy and easy on the skin for an individual. So instead of scrapping this chair over an incomplete repair, we simply just create that missing part. And then our goal in all of this is to continue to build a reusable parts library. And so with every repair challenge that we are met with, the warehouse comes, they meet with me, they say, hey, do you think this can be done? And I'll model things out. We have a growing library of various parts that are common to durable medical equipment, but aren't easily available before we had this 3D printer. And so it's fun. It's something new for our program. It's something new that's being innovative in this durable medical equipment reuse, kind of field. And we've been having a lot of success with it and a lot of luck and continuing to build that library of parts. But that's all I got. That's your sneak preview. So you have to come to our session at Viva La Vida in order to get the whole 60 minutes spiel. But this is just my elevator speech for y'all today.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Michael, awesome job. And once again, to the group here, it's really about extending life cycle of durable medical equipment that would, in some instances, end up as Michael mentioned, in a landfill or somewhere that it shouldn't be, or worst case, it could hurt somebody. So we're excited. Look forward to seeing everybody this October. Nico, I'll throw it back over to you, sir, or Anna, as who's running.
Yeah, I think Nico stepped out for 1 second, but thank you, Michael. Thank you, Dexter. We really appreciate you giving us that sneak peek, and we're looking forward to hearing more about it at Viva la Vida. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay. We're going to move right along. Okay. So last time we did a quick overview about the Leander ISD Maker Day, and we were hoping to have Cece Fritz from Leander ISD join us and give us a follow-up on Maker Day that we shared, but it looks like she might not have been able to join us today. So rather than the repeat that we shared previously, we'll hopefully have another opportunity to hear directly from her at a future meeting. So for now, we'll go ahead and keep moving on. Okay, so next we have a really cool update from TXRX. Some of you may remember the robotic arm project and shared files from the Missouri project that we've talked about previously. Following their lead and using those shared files, TXRX has now been able to duplicate the robotic arm, and they're starting to explore different ways it could potentially be used. So we have a short video here so you can see what they've been working on.
Maybe you need something bigger. Oh, there you go. Got it up. There you go. Perfect. It's good. That's good, that's good, that's good. Oh, you dropped it, okay. Okay.
So this is a really exciting because it's exactly the kind of thing we'd love to see continue to grow. We're in one group sharing their work and files, and then another group being able to build on that work, and then exploring new applications for that. And I believe Dr. Lee is also here today, so I'm not sure, Dr. Lee, if you wanted to comment on this project.
I'd be happy to. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. Yes, it's a project that we are working on, and this is the first pair. You have a hand and a leader and a follower, and also we are designing. Have you seen on this one here? The follow hand has only 2 prong. We have designed now a 3 prong, and so we're working on various different aspects of that to see how it can be adapted to a couple of things. Number one, adapted to various ways it can grip things. The 2 prong one does not do a very good job because it takes a little bit longer. It takes a little bit more problem trying to grab things. So a 3 prong may be better. Uh, Another aspect we're working on is to see how AI technology can be adapted to this, and then to truly be able to AI can truly code things quicker, and also to apply to more different type of utility, different type of possible uses for people with disability. So we're working on that. We're raising funds to see what we can do on this. They're not very expensive, but it can be costly as you move on to AI. So we're very optimistic about the direction of the research we're going. And we're also trying to see what we can do to collaborate. There are other university and organization that can do a lot better than we do. So we're looking to see what we can do to learn from others as well. We're happy to share. These are a lot of these are open, um, kind of work. We got glad to share, and also we'd be glad to help if we can, and hoping for other people to help us. That's all I got, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee, for sharing that with us. It's exciting. Then Alex from TriSpire also added in the chat that there's a company in my city who's working on something like this for wheelchairs too. They are called Salo Robotics. He put the link and he said they might be able to work with you. So that would be a good lead also.
I think you can provide them with my contact information if it's possible. Be happy to correspond and then figure out how we can work together. Okay.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Okay, and moving on to our designing possibilities. So this is an emerging project update. For anyone who's new today, I'll give a little bit of a background, and for our returning members, this is also a quick, like I mentioned, update where those partnerships are headed. So one of our bigger goals with Tamales is really to grow beyond the individual projects and start building more support for assistive technology making across the state. And we love to see more opportunities for adults with disabilities to connect with maker teams to address their individual AT needs while also helping schools build and fund maker programs that can support their own students. So we're also working to bring more awareness to this at the state level. So Shannon is actually currently working, she's at a meeting right now for the Governor's Committee on People with Disabilities to bring attention to this need and hopefully help build more support for these types of programs. Because ultimately, it would be, pretty great if some of the work that we're doing had additional support and funding to help expand what we're already doing. So for the Maker Barn, Klein ISD, Spring ISD, we're continuing to explore our collaboration with the Maker Barn in these school districts. So what's really interesting about the Maker Barn is that they have a group of experienced and retired engineers who want to help. They just haven't traditionally had that connection to AT needs that are out there. So we're working on helping bridge that gap and connecting that maker expertise with actual needs in the disability community and in the schools. And then for TXRX, beyond the robotic arm project that we just showed, TXRX is also developing training opportunities for SLPs, OTs, and PTs to become more comfortable with fabrication and customization tools. So things like soldering, 3D printing, so they can have more confidence prototyping and adapting some AT solutions also. And then for HISD through Booker T. Washington, they already have an AT focus strand in place. And we'd really like to continue supporting that work and hopefully use what they're already doing as a model that other school districts could also learn from and build onto. And that's our update, but also we also want to hear from you also. If there's anything anyone's working on that's similar, building a partnership or starting a initiative, or even just exploring an idea, feel free to share that in the chat too. It doesn't have to be a fully developed project. If there's something that you're trying to get started or looking for collaborators, this is a good space to bring that up. Okay. So moving on, we have a couple of new resources this year. So the first is an Adafruit guide for creating DIY adaptive game controllers. And the second is a collection of assistive technology projects on hackster.io. So rather than go through everything today, these are available on our Tamales Padlet, so you can explore them whenever you have some time. And for anyone who's new, I'll go ahead and drop the Padlet link in the chat. And that's where we keep resources that we've shared during tamales, including like from previous meetings as well. So give me 1 second. And I'll put that in the chat. All right. And feel free to share that as well with anyone in your community that you think would also be wanting to look into that. This is just a little sample of the DIY adaptive game controllers. It has some videos and some resources on there. And then for the Hackster.io, there's just a few projects that are, different types of assistive technology. And then Shannon added, if you see something that needs to be added, please send it to us also. Okay. And as for articles, so the North Texas drone story, we have a couple of interesting articles. So this one has a short video, but it's a really nice example of accessibility and community inclusion. So a North Texas family reached out to a drone company about making a 4th of July drone show more accessible for their daughter, who is visually impaired, and the company worked with them to make that experience more accessible. So it's a great example of what can happen when someone identifies an access need and an organization is willing to think creatively for that solution, and it's in Fort Worth. And let's see if I can give that. Okay.
Independence Day celebrations begin all across North Texas. There's a young girl here experiencing a drone show for the very first time. Doesn't sound like a big deal until you understand that she's visually impaired. Tonight, our Marissa Armas to show all of us how all this came together in a great story that you'll only see here on CBS News Texas.
As hundreds of North Texans gather for the North Tarrant Chamber Family Fireworks and Drone Show, for Christy Burke and her 10-year-old daughter Payson Stallcup, it's the drones they're looking forward to.
She's usually kind of bored at fireworks shows, and so I'm like, oh, maybe I can give her something to where she can understand what we're all seeing.
Payson is visually impaired. And an avid K-pop Demon Hunters fan. Before the show, Burke reached out to Sky Elements drone shows, hoping they could send some still images of all the drone sequences that will be shown during the show.
Honestly, I didn't have any expectations, was just hopeful that they might send a few of the images that I could make accessible for her to feel.
The images can be loaded into a special device called the Monarch, which converts images into Braille, allowing Payson to fill each drone design before it appears in the sky. And after just a few messages back and forth with the company, Sky Elements agreed.
I was like, oh, that's really cool that they actually responded. Like, I know they're busy out here doing all this, so I wasn't sure if I'd get a response or not, but yeah, I was hopeful.
The company not only sent the images ahead of time for Payson to load into her Monarch, but they even invited the family behind the scenes to experience the drones up close before takeoff.
That's the body. That's the pointy part that he was talking about.
I just hope that she takes away tonight something truly special, where she can be a part of something that she doesn't normally get to be a part of. That way she can understand that what's going to happen in the sky, rather than having just to rely on somebody describing it to her.
And finding this type of accessibility for the visually impaired is rare.
You don't know if you don't know.
Ben Davison is Payson's visually impaired teacher. He's worked with her since she was 16 months old.
Having this, I'm hoping it'll get the word out to other companies who do this. Provide images on your website so parents can have access and give it to their students, to their children.
And as the sun finally set, Payson's big moment in action, giving Payson the chance to experience the 4th of July in a way she'll never forget.
That's cool. Yeah.
In North Richland Hills, Marissa Armas, CBS News, Texas.
All right, and that is a really cool video that I feel like we needed to share. And also, I think Ben is here with us today. So Ben, if you wanted to touch on that experience, we'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, I was over working with the family on her Monarch device, and the mom she said, "Well, what are y'all doing this afternoon?" I was like, "We're not really doing anything. We're going to a drone show, but she's going to be bored." And so mom said she reached out to the company and not expecting them to send anything back because they're busy getting all of those drones set up. And they sent back images and like, "Hey, let us know how we can help." And I just thought, wow, people need to see that you can check out for help, and there are people who want to help. They don't know if they don't know, right? So my husband works for CBS, and so I sent him a message. I'm like, "I want this on the news. People have got to see it." So it was like an hour later, and they reached back out and said, "Hey, where can we meet you guys at? Let's get it on." So anything that I can do, I see something out, I'm like, get it out there, let people know. Everybody needs to participate.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Ben, for sharing that. And I agree that it does need to be on the news, like things like that, just showing that, that is something that's possible. And like you said, we don't know what we don't know. And so thank you again. Okay. And the second article looks at something a little different. So the challenges and opportunities of using AI to help co-create physical DIY AT with people who have visual impairments. I'll give you a sneak peek of that also. So this is an open source journal article, and it's just an interesting intersection of AI, accessibility, and making, especially as more people start experimenting with AI as part of the design process. So we'll have these resources, as I mentioned earlier, available for anyone who wants to dig into them more after the meeting on our Padlet.
And I sent the article to Tom, and I see that Tom is on the meeting. Tom, were you able to read the article, and do you have any comments coming from your perspective?
Hi, thank you. There was a very good one. I was just skimming through it. I didn't get to actually sitting down to the whole thing. I could get back to you in a few days.
All right. And so basically, you commented that this is needed research. And so they actually studied how individuals who are blind can access design. And so they offered like tactile, like as they're designing things, they're giving them different feedback, like tactile feedback to help them with the process. And then they're studying where things go wrong so that individuals with vision impairments can participate in some of these tools. So it's a research article, and they kind of studied and then gave some recommendations. So if you're working with that population, I think this is a good article to read. And then we'll continue as we find articles. We want to make sure that we're following best practice. So thank you.
And just another quick reminder about the Makeable Challenge. We shared this last month, but since it's still open, we wanted to keep it on everyone's radar. So the challenge is to design and 3D print a product or prototype that improves the day-to-day life of a person with a disability or an older adult. And the deadline isn't until May 15th of next year, so there's still plenty of time if this is something you or maybe a student group you're working with would be interested in.
Is it only available to students, or could like maker groups that are outside of the educational setting participate? Do you know?
It's a wide range. So adults also are able to, there's different categories. So there's, I believe, up until the age of like 12, and then I believe there's another group until about 18, and then there's 18 plus. So there's different.
Nice. Perfect.
For that. Like, great question. I put that link in the chat too for whoever is interested in that. And now we have our favorite part of our meeting, which is Tech and Tell. So we'd love to hear from all of you. So has anyone created something recently, started working on a new project, or even come across something interesting that you want to share with our group? It doesn't have to be a finished project either. It can be a work in progress. It can be an idea, something you're trying to figure out. Everything, all is welcome. So if anything comes to mind, feel free to put in the chat or unmute.
So I have one. I'm making, let's say, an ecosystem. So if you go in the chat, I shared my link to my profile of all the things I created. And one of the things I made is called the Owl Reach. So it's an adaptive tool. I didn't bring it today, but it's an adaptive tool that goes onto underarm crutches where you can actually clip in a grabber because some people's difficulties when you're walking around, you drop something, you're not trying to do acrobatics to try to pick it up or else you will fall. So I figured out I would make a little adapter called Owl Reach, and I call it Owl Reach because it also sounds like I will reach. Play on words, kind of my thing. And I made it for the underarm crutches, and then people have been asking, can you make one for forearm crutches? Can you make one for walkers? And since I don't have access to these tools yet, I don't have the resources, so it's only by chance. So I went to a thrift store, I found a walker, I'm like, perfect, $15. I'll buy it, I'll make one. So I made it a version for a walker. I also bought a cane. I'm going to make a version for the cane. And as soon as I get one for forearm crutches, I will make one for forearm crutches, but it will be part of the Owl Reach ecosystem.
Thank you, Alex, for sharing that and also your resource. Oh, Shannon said she came in late, so could you please put the link in the chat again? Thank you. Is there anyone else have any updates, any projects they're working on, ideas?
Yeah, and I'll just say that I'm about 2 months, maybe 2.5 months into building an AAC app. And its target is real-time communication for non-speaking individuals. I'm been helped tremendously by Claude Code. I have a couple of SLPs who are volunteered to help work some of the kinks out, make sure that what I'm doing isn't stupid. But sometime soon here, I want to be able to bring in some potential users to provide initial or beta level feedback on it. It will be free, open source, so I'm not interested in paying anyone for their consultation, but it is targeted at older teens and young adults, so that's almost the college level. I don't know if you guys know of anyone I could contact to.
And
Yeah.
I would reach out two things. I'm burning the candle at both ends this month, but I do have families that said that they're going to send videos for your Bliss tactile symbols. So
Okay.
I'm still working on that. But
Sure.
I would contact the USAC members
Right.
and let them, because they have a lot of clout with the AAC and they'll give a lot of feedback. And like Lance McLemore will give feedback. So yes, we can help you tie into people trying that out between our education service centers, and I don't think that'll be a problem because there's a need for that.
Okay, so I may reach out to you for an introduction.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing is once we do that, and I can give you that introduction. Once we do that, it could even be that once you get some of the bugs worked out, we can share that with our ATAP group members in, because every state has an AT Act like ours. They run it a little bit different, but we have monthly meetings. And so it could be something that we could share in some of those meetings also.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to be put on an agenda there.
Perfect.
We also have Michelle commented, my daughter is an AAC user and we would be happy to help. And then Mackenzie also said, I'm happy to bring it up at our AT networking meeting for Region 13.
Well, we have some great people on this meeting today. Awesome.
Well, let me just put my email address in the chat and people can contact me.
Yeah, so I'm actually at the now I'm going off topic, but I'm actually at the the Governor's Committee for People with Disabilities, and I'm at the end of the day, and it's a very long meeting, so I enjoyed the break coming back out here to see people. I'm doing a really good job sitting quietly and listening, but at the end of the day, I'm presenting to request funding for actual funding and to make AT strands in Texas for CTE and STEM programs so that there will be rewards for people participating in the making of those tools. So I'm excited about that. And I will be bragging on the drones and Ben and all of the people here in Tamales. So I'm really excited. And I do want to add, we do have a section for members, just people who want to share their contact information. I know you're doing the map. But if you have a specific skill, also put it in the Tamales link because people all over the country look at that. So you'll see where Dr. Lee is. You can send that information to us if you want us to upload it, and we'll add your information to that column with what you're making and how people can contact you. So that's really, really good. Oh, Suzanne's here also. Hey, Suzanne.
All right,
Perfect.
thank you for everybody who shared. And moving on to our wrap up, just a few dates to keep on your radar. So our next Tamales meeting will be August 18th. We also have GoPro Day coming up in Houston on July 30th, followed by the Abilities Expo in Houston, July 31st through August 2nd. And then, of course, our Viva la Vida conference with AT, which will be here in Austin, October 28th and 29th. And we also have a few things further out on the calendar, including ATIA in January and STEM Girl Day in February, which will be here on the UT main campus. Before we finish, does anyone have any final comments, questions, or anything they'd like us to think about for a future Tamales meeting? And feel free to put that in the chat.
And Anna, thanks for taking on the meeting and letting me come on late. You did a great job. So fantastic. Isn't she awesome? What a great team. I really like this team.
And also don't forget about the Padlet. So if you would rather scan it, the QR code, feel free to do that. And that's where all of our main resources are at. And then we also have a box link. So this one is basically for our own group. So basically for Tamales members, just because there's some files that are not open source. So please don't share it outside of our group. But you can also access those resources in articles too. And the quote really sums up what we're trying to accomplish with Tamales. So bringing people together, sharing what we're learning, and continuing to move this work forward together. And if anything comes up after today's meeting, whether you have a question, a project idea, a resource to share, or you're interested in getting more involved, so please feel free to reach out to us. I'll go back and go to the main slide with all of our information. That way you have our numbers, you have our email addresses. So with that, that's everything we have for today. Thank you all so much for joining us, and especially to everyone who shared updates and projects with the group today. We really appreciate everyone continuing to be part of our Tamales community. And we hope to see you again at our next meeting on August 18th, again from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And we hope you have a great rest of your day.